Alright, what's up guys? New deck profile today. I picked up a deck that I actually have never played in my life. It was a meta deck for a very long time, but I personally never played it. It is Nekroz. Somebody at my locals used to play it a lot, like every single week. He somewhat inspired me to play it. But it is, I've mixed a few different versions. I think this is just about one of the more consistent ones that I've been able to come up with. It has almost everything you need to be very, very competitive. But let's get started. We play 2 copies of Necroz Klalos. But basically this card lets you, this is one of the better ones. You discard it to search any Necroz spell, and then of course on the field you can basically quick effect and negate a monster from the extra deck, make its attack 0. So 2 pretty decent effects. You have to play less because it's very, very searchable. Next we play 3 copies of Necroz of Unicorn. This one came off the ban list, I believe last ban list. He is by far the best Necroz monster that you want going first, because it basically locks your opponent. It basically negates all monsters, especially some from the extra deck, which is extremely good. On top of that, you can discard this to add a Necroz monster from your graveyard. Again, 2 very, very, very good effects. Actually, it's on top of my head. Actually, it's any Necroz card from the graveyard, so also very, very good. So you definitely need 3 of that. 3 copies of Brionic. Also a very good one. This one is involved in a combo to summon a Christia, so you do play 3. On top of that, you can discard this to search any Necroz monster. That effect's very good, and then during your main phase, you can actually just target 2 monster specials from the extra deck and shuffle them back into the extra deck, which is another very good effect. We play 1 copy of Gungear. This is just for protection. Usually don't actually summon her. She lets you just discard herself and then target a Necroz monster. Usually it's Unicorn. Can't be destroyed by battle, can't be destroyed by card effects. That effect is pretty good because if they have Lightning Storm, that's one of your main ways to protect yourself. 1 Valkyris. He usually protects you during the battle phase, but we are playing the Dogmatika engine, so you can actually tribute Maximus to summon Valkyris, and then Valkyris lets you tribute 2 cards in order to draw. So it does actually, believe it or not, come up, because when you go through the deskbot engine, it actually will create so much advantage for you it creates so much advantage for you that you will actually have monsters on your field that you're not even using, and tributing 2 monsters is just so unbelievably easy. So yeah, definitely Valkyris. And then of course it has the protection effect that negates an attack, and you don't even have to have a face-up Necroz monster to do it. You can just discard and then banish one from the graveyard. Play 1 copy of Necroz of Trishula. Again, this one's only really good going second, because you have to banish on the field, grave, and in hand. So it's really only good going second, but it's good to have some going second options in your deck. You have Brionic, you have Trishula. That's why Necroz is better than like the Gishki hand loop. The problem with the Gishki hand loop is it's really only good going first. Like, people out there might say that it's broken, but it's really not broken. If you like, what is a hand loop going to do going second? I mean, it literally does nothing. Whereas Trishula and Brionic and other cards in the deck actually give you options. Like, if you summon even if you summon like a Unicorn, which is supposed to be a going first card in theory, if you summon it going second, you just negated your opponent's entire field. It's non-targeting. So even if they have stuff like Borload Savage, stuff like that, if you summon, because you don't have to tell them when you activate a ritual spell, you don't have to tell them what you're summoning. It summons on resolution. So once that Unicorn hits the field, all of their extra deck monsters are all like negated. So it can really come up quite nicely. 1 copy of Benton. This is just needed for the combo to summon Christia. You just search your Christia once you use Cyber Angel Benton to special summon a Brionic. If you guys want to see some combos for this, just let me know. I'm going to try to upload those, do a combo video. Next, for our normal summon, we play 3 copies of Deskbot 003. This is, honestly, I think the best normal summon that you could possibly play. This is better than Manju. This is better than... this is better than Manju. This is better than Zaborg. I used to play Zaborg. But this Deskbot 003 is by far the best normal summon. Just because it gets you, like I said, if I upload the combo, I can show you. It basically gets you a +10 if you want to. You can even go more than +10, but it gets you, like, this card alone will get you a Brionac on field, or I'm sorry, Brionic on field. It'll get you a Christie on field. It'll get you an Abyss Dweller on field. And that is just off of this, and it gets you like a +10 in terms of card advantage. This deskbot 003. And then if you mix like some of the Dogmatika cards, you can actually go even more plus. But by far, this is the best normal summon, and it didn't get hit on the ban list. Usually what you do is just normal summon, and then you get to summon the deskbot 001. This is the tuner. You go into the needle fiber, and then once you go into needle fiber, you can go into Auradon and get a bunch of tokens, and then you can actually loop deskbot 001, which has a graveyard effect that if two or more machines are special summoned, you get to basically special summon this back. It's not once per turn at all. You can do the full combo just with a deskbot 001 and one monster that you ritual summon. So like you can ritual summon something like that's pretty easy, to get out, like a Necroz of Unicorn. So you can use a Necroz of Unicorn and a deskbot 001 and then just do the exact same combo. You don't even need to draw the deskbot 003. So the full combo is like any deskbot monster. Basically, a deskbot 003 is full combo, or a deskbot 001 and any other special summon is all just one big full combo that gets you like a +10. But by far the best normal summon in the deck. And then we play one copy of Mecha Phantom-Beast Cult Wing. This basically allows all of this to happen because it summons so many tokens. That's that. Then we play one copy of the Archlord Christia. Archlord Christia is searched off of Benton. By the time you search it off of Benton, you have 4 fairies in graveyard. You special summon this, and you can add back one of your Herald of the Arclights back to your extra deck and reuse it later. We actually play only one copy of Shurit. It came off the ban list. Again, this is something that came off the ban list, I think, 2 ban lists ago. They very slowly released this card, but it's almost insane that I'm only playing one of these, and at one point this card was... I know for a fact it was limited. I don't remember if it was banned, but it's kind of insane that this card got all the way back up to 3, and now I don't even bother to play 3 because you really don't need to. It's searchable. It's just basically you just search it, and the only reason you search it is just not pay any cost for Trishula, and that's about it. Like, that's the only reason you would search this. Or if you wanted to summon Gungear or something with a weird level, that's the only reason you would want to search this. And then of course it does search when it gets distributed. So that's that. And we played the Dogmatika engine. We played 3 copies of Ecclesia. She's the other normal summon, so you could special summon her, which you will usually do. But if you can't summon anything from the extra deck, you could just normal summon her, and then on normal summon she searches any Dogmatika card, which is very good, and then you're locked out of the extra deck, which doesn't matter because you're playing a ritual deck. But yeah, basically the order for this deck is you always go into the deskbot cards first. Then once you're done with the deskbots, you go into the Necroz cards, and then after you go into the Necroz cards, you go into the Dogmatika cards, and then the very final thing you'll summon is the Christia. That is always the final thing that you summon. So we play one copy of Maximus. He's pretty good. If you just banish a monster from the extra deck from your graveyard, and you can summon him, and then you send 2 cards. In theory, he's bad if you're playing against a bunch of people with cards that are playing Dogmatika, because they can pop your cards. But you have to be very wise with how you play. Like if you're playing against a person that for a fact is playing Dogmatika and has in their extra deck, or Elder Entity Ints or something like that in their extra deck, then you just make sure that this is one of your first plays. That way, if they pop something, it's not really a big deal, because if they pop it, you're not really losing anything. They might pop this, but your whole point is just to search ritual cards, so it doesn't even matter. Then we play one copy of Fleur, which is a very good way to get rid of Dragon, but it's also pretty good for finishing off your opponent's interruption. For the spells, we play 2 copies of Kaleidoscope, my personal favorite, 2 copies of Mirror, and 2 copies of Necroz Cycle. Again, very good ones. All of them are searchable. You can record them from the graveyard. I don't think you need to play more than 2 of each. And thank God we don't have to play the incantations anymore. They used to be like such annoying bricks, but now I'm telling you, the Dogmatika cards have completely just changed this deck. Play 3 copies of Nadir's Servant. Again, a very, very good card. It lets you send right on activation, you can send just pretty much any, you can send any card from your extra deck to the graveyard. Normally you'll send like the Ashen Dragon or something, or you can also send like Elder Entity. You can also send the Totally Awesome in this deck, and then it could get you any water monster back to your hand, which can be any of the Necroz cards. Very, very useful. And then of course you get the Search. Play 3 copies of Preparation. I still think this is a very, very good card. Just because, yeah, I still think this is a very, very good card. Because it basically searches all of the Necroz monsters and it adds back a ritual spell. So it's like a copy of a ritual spell and it's a copy of a monster from your deck. It's really, really good not to play. And it's not a once per turn at all. We play 2 copies of the Dogmatika Punishment. If you're not going to play any of, like, let's say you're more on a budget and you don't want to play any of the, if you don't want to play any of the Dogmatika cards and you're like, you know what, they're just a bit too expensive for me, you have to at least pick up the Dogmatika Punishment. Like, if you're going to take anything away from this deck profile, is that you should be playing this card. And if you're not playing the rest of the Dogmatika package, definitely play 3 of these. This card is so good in the deck because it basically lets you send any monster from your extra deck and then pop a monster with that same level. And what's good is you can either send something like an Elder Entity Natis, or you can send a Herald of the Arclight, or a Totally Awesome. It just gets your engine started and it pops a card, helps you protect your unicorn. Like, absolutely, that's like a staple in the deck now, and it's a common. It's less than 50 cents. Definitely pick that up. And then we play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. I think the only criticism that I would have about this deck is that I didn't find more space for hand traps, because they can really be useful right now. But if you're going to change anything about this deck, it's to squeeze in more hand traps. You can probably cut a few things that you don't like, but that is the main deck. Next, we've got the extra deck. We play 1 copy of Crystal Needlefiber. This basically, yeah, Crystal Needlefiber is very important. It allows you to do the deskbot combo. It's very, very important. 1 copy of Mecha Phantom Beast or Auroradon, and that is, believe it or not, that's it. That's all of the Link monsters we play. You don't have to play any more Link monsters to do the full combo. Then for the Synchro monsters, we play 3 copies of Herald of the Arclight. When we do the combo, the 1-card combo for this, or the 2-card combo for this, actually goes through all 3 Heralds of the Arclights, which is pretty crazy. We'll be summoning this. We play 1 copy of Old Entity Chathuga. This card is very, very good too. This card basically allows you to, when you XYZ summon with this, which you will, you XYZ summon with this and a copy of Herald of the Arclight. When you XYZ summon with this, you basically get to draw a free card. Very, very good. 2 copies of Elder Entity. 1 copy of Fossil Warrior Skull Knight. This is actually a new card from the Battles of Legend. This is good with either the Nadir Servant or any of the Dogmatika cards that allow you to send a card. But this card is actually also very, very good with Brionac. Just because you can use Kaleidoscope to summon Brionac, and then you can shuffle away 2 extra deck monsters, and then on top of that you can banish this from the graveyard, and you get to pop a monster on the field. So you basically get to summon Brionac just by using a monster out of your extra deck, and on top of that you get to basically get rid of 3 cards. It's really, really good for that. Then we play 2 copies of the Titan Dragon, so you can go through the Dogmatic engine pretty well. 1 copy of Totally Awesome to help you recur resources. Water monsters. 1 copy of Dugaris. 1 copy of Abyss Dweller. And 1 copy of Daigusto Emerald to help you shuffle back Herald of the Arclights and use them again. But that is it. That is the entire deck profile. If you guys would like to see a combo, just let me know down below. And of course, thank you for watching.